Now to the United States, where Independence Day celebrations were marred by a mass shooting which left 6 people dead and 30 injured. In the Chicago suburb of Highland Park, a gunman opened fire from a rooftop, striking crowds gathering for a 4th of July parade. After hours of uncertainty, police have detained a 22-year-old suspect.
It was supposed to be a day of celebration, of fun with friends and family. Instead, people had to run for their lives. Minutes earlier, families with young children had been gathering for the parade, when gunshots suddenly rang out. Panicked parents trying to protect their children.
I remember hearing shootings and going like, shh. All I thought about is just, getting my daughter to safety, and I ran with her. We went to the nearest McDonald's, and, she lost her shoe along the way, my daughter, and she was scared.
We started shooting again, and we ran behind the building, and I put my son in a dumpster, and he sit there with his dog, and I went back to look for the rest of my family. It was just horrible.
Police say the shooter fired into the crowd from a nearby rooftop with a high-powered rifle. 5 people were killed at the scene. Another victim died in hospital. Dozens of people were injured, among them children. The attack comes just a month after 2 mass shootings in Texas and New York.
It is devastating that a celebration of America was ripped apart by our uniquely American plague. A day dedicated to freedom has put into stark relief the one freedom we as a nation refuse to uphold, the freedom of our fellow citizens to live without the daily fear of gun violence.
The shooter managed to flee before police stormed the rooftop. Authorities issued a stay-at-home order for residents in the area while a huge manhunt got underway. Meanwhile, police announced they had identified a 22-year-old man as a person of interest. He was arrested without incident and taken into custody more than 8 hours after the shooting. A shooting that means that for some families, July 4th will no longer be associated with celebration, but with terror and grief.
For more now, I'm joined by Amber Gilmore, a journalist in Chicago. Amber, a 22-year-old suspect is in custody. What more can you tell us about how he was apprehended and his identity?
Good morning from Chicago, Terry. We know that the suspect, the shooter, was arrested at 6:30 p.m. local time in Chicago by local authorities and by the FBI. We know that his name is Robert E. Cremo III. We know that he's 22 years old. He's a resident of the Highland Park area. We know that another family member of Cremo was also arrested in the city of Chicago a couple hours after his arrest.
Do we have any idea what motivated the shooter, assuming it's the person just trying to figure out what motivated anyone to carry out an act like this? Or is there any speculation about that?
As of now, there's been several press conferences and the motive is still unclear. We know that it's still an active investigation from the FBI, from ATF, and also from the Highland Park Police. We know that at least 17 agencies are helping with the investigation with Highland Park. As of now, there is no motive. It's an active investigation, and that's the latest that we have right now.
And tell us about the victims. And we've got multiple people dead, multiple people wounded in that attack.
We know that a couple of maybe an hour ago or so, the Highland Park did mention that they have giving resources, counseling services for the family that are being affected, also for the family members and victims. We know so far it's 6 people have been killed, 31 have been injured. We know that the ages are between 8 years old and 85 years old. Okay. We know that 4 of those are kids.
Amber, thank you very much. That was journalist Amber Gilmore in Chicago.